Getting ready to go live on Facebook for the Seasonal Wisdom Card Pull, second week. Okay, here we are. Okay. All right, here we go. So today, unlike last week in the book launch, I haven't already pulled the cards. I was out meeting a friend in Fort Worth, picking up some prints from an artist friend, as well as visiting and talking to the bookstore in Fort Worth about having my book on their local author shelf. So I'm hoping that's going to happen soon. So today, going through the same seasonal wisdom process that we went through last week, I'm going to pull a card from each of the seasons, starting with winter, then moving through spring, summer, and fall. And in just a second, I'm going to show you the images for the different seasons so that you can kind of connect to that energy and see which one seems to be calling to you today. So while we're waiting to look at that image, I'd like to invite you. First of all, thank you for joining me. I've kind of just scooted into my seat here at the last minute because when I got home, my cat was saying, you promised you'd take me out when you got home. So I did that as well. And by the way, he doesn't like to join in on the Zoom, but you may hear him in the background. His name is Emrys, and he may be talking to us in the background. So I'd like to invite you, as the suggestion in the book is, when you're working with the energies, to go ahead and just settle in, sitting with your back straight but not stiff, your feet flat on the floor, and your hands relaxed in your lap. Just go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. And just allow all of your inner energy to come to collect around the center of your chest, around that heart chakra area. Take another deep breath in and out. Silently tell your body to relax. And then now continuing to just breathe naturally, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. Ask your heart to communicate to you and to help you be drawn by the energy of one of these images. See which one seems to be calling you today. It may be the same image that's called you before. It may be a different one. You may notice some of your favorite colors, or you might recognize a favorite season, or it may just be the one that for some reason today seems to be drawing you in. And then once you have that, I'm going to be drawing cards from each of the seasons, and I'll tell you which one is which. And I'll read the message and then kind of just expand on anything that comes to me for today, for whoever is joining in today or maybe watching this later in a replay. These will be on this Empowered Joy Facebook page, but they will also be uploaded to YouTube. So if you have a friend that you think would like to join in but doesn't like to participate in things on Facebook, does not have a Facebook account, these can be found on my Empowered Joy YouTube channel. Okay, so for the winter energy, this one in the upper left-hand corner with the snowflake, the message for today is keep your energy centered and focused. Having a scattered mind or troubled spirit opens the door to fear, worry, and doubt. At these times, our bodies reflect back to us what's happening through physical sensations. Listen to your body. Find what works for you to clear your mind and calm your spirit. Keeping your energy centered and focused provides power to create and live an authentic, purposeful life. So, as we say, no accidents, no coincidences. This is extremely interesting to me today that this would be the first card, because I was actually having a conversation earlier today when I met my friend about how the moment we have a thought that's a tense thought, our body tenses even when we don't realize. And so we can literally wake up one morning feeling like we were at the gym overdoing it, or in the yard doing yard work and really just pushing our bodies, if we've had a day where we continually had tense thoughts come through. And one of the things she was talking about is, I've got to get this done. And I said to her, sit back, take a breath. Do you notice how your body tensed? And she said, yeah, I can feel it here in my hands. So what I suggested to her, and I try to remember for myself as well, because, most of the time when we have these kinds of messages for others, they're needed for ourselves as well. When we have that thought of, I've got to get this done, and that we immediately notice that it's a compelling, it feels like a burden, it feels like something, this thing that has to be gotten done. We want to sit back and take a deep breath, maybe do what we did here at the beginning of this. Just center yourself in your heart space, take a deep breath in and out, let all that inner energy collect around your heart. Another deep breath in and out, silently tell your body to relax. It takes just a few seconds. And then proceed, and then maybe change that thought of, I've got to get this done, and the urgency around that to, I am in the process of preparing for a wonderful experience at this fair, or I am in the process, I am achieving self-love. I am expressing self-love through preparing this space for my class, whatever it is that the thought is. I know that that can seem a little like, are you kidding me at times? But just try it the next time something's going on with you when you notice an immediate tension. Because as this card says, when we go into a place of fear, worry, or doubt, our bodies are going to reflect back what's happening through those physical sensations. And then when the energy tightens down, then it's like our brain shuts down too. And then we begin to just focus on that thought that we've already had that's caused our body to react. And that's not an open space for receiving intuitive messages. It's not a free-flowing energetic space to help us get things done. It's what happens when our body gets tense and then we bend over to pick something up and our back goes out. That's what's happening in those times. So we don't want that to be the way that we're living our lives. So then moving on to spring, this beautiful tulip, kind of the signature image of this project. Be defined by your inner truth. We receive constant messages from the world around us about who and what we should be. They can create a lot of disruptive noise in our energy. Don't let those messages embed themselves in your soul. Turn down the volume. Stay connected to your inner truth and allow it to teach you who you are. Believe it or not, in the deepest part of yourself, you know who you are. In the silence, away from all of those other people, and people that we love and people that want the best for us, but who they tell us we are, either through their interactions with us or verbally, is not necessarily who we are. We know in the deepest part of ourselves who we are. And when we interact in our world from that place, that's the place that gives us the most joy and power. It gives us the most possibility of sharing our gifts in ways that are empowering with others. And so it actually is the biggest blessing we can give to the people around us, rather than trying to pretzel ourselves or be who other people think we are, that we know in our heart we're not. The best thing that we bring forward to the world is our most authentic selves. And we really do know that in the deepest part of ourselves. So be defined by your own inner truth. Moving on to summer, the beautiful flower down here. Cultivate contentment. This is probably one of my favorite topics in the entire 52 topic set. Relaxing into a feeling of contentment has a way of erasing the years and returning us to pure innocence. The more we can remain in this state, the more we live in alignment with our true nature. Commit yourself to choices that nurture your personal satisfaction with life and cultivate contentment. When I think about this topic, it makes me think of the years that I had a hammock in the backyard. And I was a grown adult with children to take care of, a single parent, teaching full time, probably not enough cash flow each month, as so many of us experience. But when I could go into the backyard and just get in that hammock and be suspended, take a book or meditate or just listen to the birds, it was such a sense of contentment. And when I read this, when this material came through for me, and when I read it now, it always makes me think of that feeling of non-urgency, the feeling of being completely supported in a relaxed state. It really is the most beautiful place to be. And it allows us to come into complete alignment with that true sense of ourselves that we know down in the deepest part of ourselves. It allows us to be centered and focused, as the first card said. And that keeps us in a space where our most spontaneous, intuitive messages come through for solutions. Sometimes the harder we're looking for an answer to something, the more it eludes us because we're putting a tense, close-fisted energy, like we're grasping and holding on and just looking so hard. But cultivating contentment can open us to all of that free-flowing energy that can bring us what we truly want. It allows our body to relax. So something to think about in these days that the weather is turning to something really pleasant to be outside. So the last card for today is the fall image. This is the one that pulled you in with the beautiful turning leaves. And this one's top title is Own Your Past Without Letting It Define You. So we really are talking today about how we're being defined. All of us have regrets from the past, but if we try to erase unhappy memories, it's like cutting away parts of ourselves. Doing this repeatedly creates a life with ragged edged holes. Acknowledge painful memories. Do what you need to do to heal and move forward knowing that you are not defined by your past. There's a whole lot more in this message than these few little lines say. One of the courses that I've taught over the years that is actually currently available through my website as an e-course to do at your own timing is Sending a Soulful Signal, SAS for short, SASS. One of the things that came to me in the creation of that course, and that I felt like was one of the most powerful lessons in the teaching of that workshop, was when we cut away, when we try to just close our minds and our hearts to painful memories from the past, we're never able to just shut our mind down on that piece that was disruptive, disempowering, uncomfortable, painful, harmful. There's always things around it that have to be cut away, kind of like the way they cut away cancers from the body and they cut into just enough outside of that to make sure that they've caught it all. That's what happens to us when we try to eliminate painful memories. We end up in an existence like Swiss cheese. And you know that when Swiss cheese, if you take a very thin slice and there are a lot of holes in it, it doesn't have a lot of substance and it's not going to hold together. And eventually there are going to be tears and it's going to come undone. And so we don't want to do that. If we have regrets and unhappy memories, we want to work on what we can to heal them, not be defined by them, but we're actually more defined by them when we try to cut them away or we focus our energy too much on trying to control them and contract them down. So that would be something I would encourage you to do, is to find ways to heal from those, to release that energy of regret and not cut pieces away from your past. We want to be defined by who we know we are, and we want to move into the future without being locked into those past regrets and memories. So that's it for today. Thank you for those of you who are watching now or later. And I'll be back next week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central. All righty. See you then. Stop this share so I can stop the video. And keep sending me your experiences with the book, Authentically You. I love to hear them. See you next week.